Hi, I'm Andrew Smith, and today I want to talk to you about gatekeepers. So in this video today we'll talk about gatekeepers, who they are, why and where you find them, practical actions that you can do today. We'll look at the dominant brand approach and the problems and how to get around them with the gatekeepers. And as I mentioned, the actions we can start today. I do apologise for the noise in the background. I set this up when I thought it was all nice and quiet, and it's a bit of background noise. I hope it's not affecting the video too much. Gatekeepers, people with money, companies and individuals, celebrities, royalty, etc., do not necessarily speak directly to suppliers. There's somebody in the way that puts the dampers on the flow. They have a sort of a barrier, a wall, to prevent every Tom, Dick and Harry picking up the phone and saying, "Oi, give us a job, mate." And it's the same not only with corporate companies, but it's also the same with celebrities. Clients like some of mine, Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Eric Clapton, Emma Thompson and Mr. Bean, I don't speak to them. I don't pick up the phone and say, "Oi, take a booking," and they don't phone me and say, "Hello Andrew, nice to see you. Can you come and do business with me?" Much as I'd love it, that just doesn't happen. And it won't happen for you in your business. There's somebody in the way, usually to start with a personal assistant who I call the gatekeeper. So ideally, when we do business, it's great if we can go directly to the client from our own products and services. That's the ideal way. With high net worth, with big corporates, etc., we are looking at having a gatekeeper. And these gatekeepers could be the personal assistant to the managing director, a PA to the celebrity or the royalty. They have people who do the work for them. They have the funds to be able to live an independent life and get on with the stuff that's important to them and not leave the small stuff of booking you for your services or product. They deal through their personal assistant. And in some cases, that personal assistant will go to another agent who handles the transactions. When booking entertainment, for example, it might be an entertainment agency who then coordinates the complete event. It may be even that agent books an event organizer who then speaks it. So it gets bigger and bigger, and you get more and more detached from the end user, the client, the person who's going to pay you the money. So gatekeepers are the people that prevent you from speaking directly to your ideal customer. It's the same if you're going to do trade shows and exhibitions for you entertainment guys out there. If you're working on a trade show stand and you're looking to the client, you've got the exhibitor that you're working for, the agent, the gatekeeper, and then the client. So you're maybe 3, 4, and sometimes even 5 times removed from a possible client that you wish to speak to. Me entertaining Paul McCartney, for example, and an event of his meant that I had to be on a stand working for an exhibitor who had their own needs and wants. I then got introduced to an agent who has his own needs and wants. Then that agent spoke to Paul McCartney's PA, and eventually I get to meet Paul McCartney, shake his hands, and entertain him for a period of an event. The dominant brand approach, my approach, is to consider exactly each of those levels and their individual concerns before we get there. So when we talk about the dominant brand approach, we talk about designing your own business and reviewing what you've already got. We talk about knowing who your customer is and the steps and the people to get there, knowing who your competition is, and in some form there, knowing who the gatekeeper is and what's in it for them, then you can craft the message or offer, the WIIFM, the what's in it for them, and then you start creating the marketing materials, the how, what, where and when, and the whole dominant brand approach is then we start getting in front of our target audience, working our way, how are we going to speak to Paul McCartney, how am I going to entertain Paul McCartney, how am I going to, if I'm a photographer, photograph Paul McCartney, what steps do I need to do to get to that end goal. This would seem like a lot of extra work. It is a lot of extra work, but when you are dealing with high net worth customers, you are able to charge a premium. You are able to offer your very best work. And if it was easy, everybody would do it. We have to do the work to get to these high net worth clients. Whether it's royalty, celebrity, or even blue chip companies, we've just got to do the work. And I would rather have less clients to find, but those that are especially targeted to pay me more money. So I end up working less, working smarter, and having a bigger bank balance, which to me is the reason for being in business. As I say, we start off the dominant brand approach with asking the big 12 questions. I mention this everywhere I go, wherever I go, got to start asking these questions. You need to get really deep into what it is you want, what it is your customer wants, and what it is your competitor offers, so that you can work out where you go. Getting to know your gatekeepers is as important as, look at that noise in the background, getting to know your gatekeepers is as important as the client's needs. What they're interested in, what challenges they're having at the moment, it's down to them. They're not going to talk to you about what it is you're doing. Whatever small service is a small part of their overall booking for the day or their overall work schedule. How can you help them solve their problems will allow you to build a friendship, a relationship, business relationship with that individual, who will then take you to the next level. When you meet these guys, you find out who they are, go and have a chat with them, just go along, maybe just take a packet of biscuits with you, say hello. It may be that you can provide some resource or an article that you can send them that will help solve their problems. Wow, that was noisy, did you hear that? Crashing plates in the background. See if you can solve a problem. Getting to know the gatekeeper's needs is as important as the client's needs. What are they interested in? What challenges do they have at the moment? And as I say, talking to high net worth premiums, you can charge a premium. It takes more work to get there, but once you get that and you get into that circle of high net worth clients, it's easier because they then refer you, because you're offering a quality service. They then say to their friends and peers who are all in the affluent circles, and they pass on your name and contact details, PA to PA. They say, I'll get my man to phone your man, or my assistant to phone your assistant, whatever it goes. It's the way forward, definitely. Therefore, you can spend the time to get these customers, add value to their lives of the gatekeeper, as well as the value of the lives of the high net worth client. Remember, you are going to give these clients your very, very best work, so you can spend that time and money developing these very best clients. Make it easy for them. You just make it easy for them to do business with you. If you were to prepare a what's in it for me sheet for the client, so they just don't say balloon man or whatever your job title is, photographer, hairdresser, plumber. If you're making that service available, you are able to individually do it, so that when they're talking to the celebrity and having their meeting about the event or the occasion that you're booked for, the service that you're booked for, they can say, I found they could say, I found a balloon man, he's going to charge how much? That's not worth it. But if they say, yeah, this man does this, this is it, look at the pictures, this is what he offers, this is what she offers, this is the service they offer, look at what it does, and if it's written in a what's in it for me approach, then they will get definitely to what they are looking to do. So use all the tools, use videos, use images, make a dedicated message, dedicate a web page to them, and send them directly to that web page. There's free services out there you can do, or you can just add an extra page to it. Remember, you're going after big bucks for a big client. You can dedicate a specific landing page for them, so that you get the business. Tailor make it, and then they makes it easier for them to show to their high net worth client. So you get help the gatekeeper help sell you, because if you don't make it easy for them, they're going to try and make it easier to pass on that message, and they're just going to cut out all the marketing hype that you've written about. You've won this award, I've done this, that and the other. If you're saying that it's this that gives them something that they can show to the end user, they're going to say, yeah, pick that man, go, and the job's much easier all round. So you're building their know, like and trust. And remember, your agenda may not be their agenda. They may not be ready to book you now, they may not be ready to book you for 6 months for an event or an occasion or for your service. Have that contact, build that relationship, and keep on fostering that relationship, and then when it's time for them to book, they will give you a call. It's all about quality relationships. It's quality and not quantity. It's about focus, spending time, offering your best work to the very best of clients. I worked for an event in Africa where I was flown down to Africa, staying in a 5-star hotel. They flew in celebrity, Indian, Bollywood superstar, megastar, who had them dancing on the tables, and I get there and I find out I'm his warm-up act, which was tremendous for me. 5 days in Africa, $1,000 in clothing allowance, just to say, because you're not used to performing in these environments. Treated like a star, absolutely fantastic. It was because I built the relationship with the individual. The agent who then booked me and had got through that, he'd flown down to Africa 3 or 4 times, he'd had several Skype sessions talking to the customer who was organising his wife's 40th birthday party. He had an awful lot of work to do, and so for me to give him a polished web page that he could then just flash up in front of the guy who said, yep, that's great, dedicated, yep, I know what I want, this man knows what I'm after, this man is the man to hire, and treated like a star because I put in that extra effort. Entertaining Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, to get called back to Ringo Starr's house for the 2nd year in a row because I offered great service. Fantastic. Me talking to 2 surviving Beatles for 20 minutes individually on my own in a garden in the middle of Surrey was a fantastic experience. Pinch me, ouch, ouch, ouch. It was an unbelievable event because I put the time and effort into focusing on the customer. Okay. It's about building that trusted advisor status, helping wherever you can. I'm the specialist in my field as far as my clients see. I don't talk about myself except to you guys. I talk about what I can do for them. How can I talk about myself when I don't know what they want? I've got to go to an event and say, tell me about your event, explain your event, what is it you're trying to achieve, who's going to be there. I can't say I've won awards for this, that and the other. They don't give a flying fish about that. They are interested only in what I can do for them. So, gatekeepers, there are many, they are hidden, they are often tough to get past. Can you pick up the phone and speak to the end user? the client? Frequently not. So you need to build the relationship with that gatekeeper. Now, in sales skills, there's techniques for getting past the gatekeeper if you are able to speak to them, and you can say things like, can I speak to the boss? And they say, sorry, he's not available. You need to make an appointment. Okay, can I make an appointment to speak to him now? Which means two things. Can I make an appointment to speak to him? And can I make that appointment as now to speak to him? And you may get through. It's a bit of cheap, but the best part is really build that relationship, build that time, get that agenda sorted that you can help them in the longer term. We can do this together. I'm prepared to help you in any way I can to get you to speak to more high net worth clients. So getting past gatekeepers is what I'll help you do. The next video will talk more about these high net worth clients and getting in front of them and the message, etc. But for now, if you've got any questions, drop me an email at askandy@askandysmith.com. That's andy@askandysmith.com. And if you've not already downloaded a copy of the book, The Dominant Brand, you can do so at askandysmith.com. askandysmith.com. There's a complimentary guide book there for you. Just sign in. I think you've got to push a couple of pages to get through so that you get the book, and then when you get to the page, you've got to choose how you want it downloaded, whether it's Kindle, PDF, etc., etc. Do it any way you can, whatever suits you best. And apologies for the noise in the background at this lunchtime. When I sat down and started, this was a nice quiet little restaurant, nobody in, and I've obviously just hit the second shift at lunch. So I hope you haven't disturbed you too much. Speak to you soon, and if you've got any questions, don't forget, give us a shout. Thanks for that. Bye for now.